Welcome back to Two Sports Overtime. It is Wednesday, February 18th, and we are approaching the final stretch of this college basketball season.
Crazy.
Stakes are mounting. The pressure is rising, really, for all three teams that we cover here locally. Dayton, of course, just trying to end things, kind of stick the landing, if you will.
Perfect.
And as they go into the A-10 tournament and try to shock the world and be A-10 tournament champs for the first time in 23 years and
anything
make
can happen.
The tournament.
Yeah.
Wright State trying to hold on to their top position in the Horizon League. Same thing. They're trying to get an auto bid, winning the conference because they're not going to get an at-large. But Miami still unbeaten. Getting another big win on Friday. We'll see what they did.
Climbing the rankings slowly but surely.
As we're recording this, we don't know the result of any of Tuesday's games, so we'll see if that holds on Tuesday at UMass. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but the Red Hawks are just continuing to solidify their position as, even if they don't win the MAC, I think they've made a strong case, unless they just completely collapse, to get an at-large bid at minimum.
100%. I don't foresee that. They just... something special about this group. Just
I don't know how you leave them out if they keep it going. If they lose 5 or 6 down the stretch, obviously that's different. But if they
only
keep
have
this up,
5 or 6 left.
Yeah, I think there's only 5 or 6 left
before MAC tournament play.
Yeah, I don't know how with as many teams as get into these tournaments, and some of the teams that are just like, why is that team in? I really don't understand why the MAC couldn't be a 2-bid league on a year like this.
100%.
If Miami were not to win the MAC championship.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how it shapes up. I mean, it seems like, and obviously we'll get to Miami here soon, but it just seems like the AP voters are just so uneasy to give them anything more than one ranking at a time or no move.
Since we're on the topic, I was going to save it for later, but since we're on the topic, John Rothstein, okay. He's been a big promoter of Miami on Twitter. Make sure people watch 22-0 when they were 22-0. Yep. Best story in the nation right now.
Yep.
But guess who was not on John Rothstein's AP ballot? Miami.
Makes no sense. And he had voted. He had voted for them before too.
I don't get that. How do you?
But this time around,
how do you take them out of your poll after they just beat down on Ohio on Friday?
By now,
on a national
it could be
stage.
Like it could have been him hyping them up before, maybe not. When they were 20-0, 21-0. Okay, 25-0.
They are quite literally the only undefeated team left. We said that last week, but obviously it's still true.
And it's not like they're like. They're still playing.
They're playing good ball.
Okay, MAC teams.
Well, they're playing good ball regardless.
They're playing well. It's not like they're like, I squeaked that one out, that one by. And their overtime wins that were close are always against the best teams that they play. Buffalo,
Kent State, right?
It's like, and they find a way. So I think whatever Travis Steele is like putting in these guys' heads, it's working. Like just enjoying the moment and like this whole.
It's got to be helping that they aren't getting.
Yeah, it
super
keeps the chip on their shoulder.
A little bit.
Honestly,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. They still kind of have that little bit of underdog mentality, like, well, we're doing all this and still nobody believes in us.
Yeah.
And so they feel they have to prove it. And like the way that Travis Steele is, like that, he thrives on that.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, cool to see the Red Hawks get going, or still rolling and still undefeated. We'll dive into a little bit them here in a second, but as always, we will start with the Dayton Flyers. Kayler, you were at this one. I was there as a fan. It was a hard game to be a fan at, I think, speaking for the rest of the Flyer crowd. Good crowd, Valentine's Day weekend, long 3-day weekend with President's Day on Monday. Nice day out, good home game. But the game itself was just, like you said, the last couple shows and things, it just feels like the energy just hasn't been there for the team and for the crowd. Like it did get exciting at the end, because it was close and they end up, pulling it out. But, Flyers find a way. They, bounce back from the blowout loss on the road to VCU and take down Davidson 70-59. And it was a big night for one of kind of like the, underrated
right now.
and an underrated guy really his whole career.
Yeah, Jayon Simon having a career day. He's been with the program for 3 years, kind of an anomaly in college basketball right now after he was redshirted his freshman year. He's stuck with it. It was only his 4th career start on, was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm getting all my days mixed up. But he had a career day posting his first career double-double with 11 points and 13 rebounds. There was a point that he was out rebounding the entire Davidson team.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, for a team that's had its fair share of like looking around for somebody to like step up at various points in games or whatever, he's been a guy that's been a consistent, like, just been a dog, and the fan base has really rallied around him and been excited for him. We talked a lot about a guy that was extremely loyal to a program, in this age of doing, sometimes just your own thing and transfer portal and, go to money or whatever the case is,
and here he
he's
is
stuck
in this
with
final
it.
play here. That was the dagger. It was him getting the steal here.
Perfect.
And this was the play that really ended things for Davidson.
Great dunk.
They took a 10-point lead after it being a 1-point game.
7-0 run in the final 46 seconds is what it was, I think. So, yeah, I mean, always good to see them, always good to see get a home win, bounce back after a loss, not let those losses stack up like they did during that 4-game losing streak. But it just again kind of it feels like the team that had so much confidence and energy to start a year. It just feels like they're just playing, like, oh God, like gosh, hope we win, hope we win.
But I will add some context that we found out during the post-game press conference.
Go ahead.
About half the team had the flu last week.
Okay,
that's why Malcolm Thomas didn't play.
Yeah,
that's why. Who was the other? Somebody else did. Jacob Connor.
Jacob Connor,
play.
right.
Deshane Montgomery got over it on Friday. He had lost 10 pounds last week.
So that's what it was. It was not the wrist.
And so the break, they had a 9-day break between games.
That
it
helped.
kind of hit at the right time because half of the team got sick.
Yeah.
So not an excuses, but just adding some context to maybe why things were a little bit lethargic at times.
Yeah.
They're trying to get their legs back under them, their lungs back under them,
100%.
Things like that.
Yeah. And you want to see this team succeed and play like they, like we saw that like 30 times a game.
Deshane Montgomery didn't look like he had the flu.
In the beginning. No. Always getting those bounces. But it's tough to see, something like this. And then, then they have another tough test on the road at George Mason. Like, how can you respond? Can you now go on the road into a tough A-10 environment, to a team that's, I don't know, what is George Mason right now? Let's take a look. But I want to say it's going to be another tough one for them, oh yeah, there you go. So I go St. Louis at 12-0 in the A-10. They're on an 18-game win streak, obviously one of the best teams in the country right now. Then VCU, and then George Mason. So you have the third place team in the conference coming up next.
Dayton's tied for fourth.
Dayton's tied for fourth at 7-5. So what an opportunity now, to build off this win, go on the road, be that pesky road team that it seems like teams have done to them this year in UD Arena, which we don't see happen a lot. It's like, wow, Dayton losing in UD Arena. It doesn't happen.
We say that even, but they've only lost 2 games at home this year.
Which is, and I'm speaking as if I were to be a Flyer fan, they'd be like, too many, right? Like it's like you cannot lose inside UD Arena.
Yeah.
Like it's a sin. It's happened, just what they're going to have to deal with. So, anything else? Obviously, you were at this game too. Anything else learned in the post-game press conference from Anthony Grant's comments of just kind of this mindset of the group, or just the way that
they talked a lot about how in this break they also spent a lot of time discussing their mentals. Okay. And they had one of their assistants get up and talk about his experience playing and kind of trying to get the team rallied back, mentally. And something Jayon Simon brought up, it was him that brought it up first in the post-game press conference, was that they really challenged all the guys to find the joy in the game again. Remember what they're playing for, why they're playing, and why this game brings them joy, and just really trying to find that joy again, because it had felt like it had been lost there for that 6-game stretch.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can see it. Obviously, no one wants to lose, and that frustrating patch, with the losing streak and the tough road blowouts, and it's just not a Dayton team we're accustomed to seeing. So,
long and hard season with a lot of injuries and illnesses.
Just play your best ball in March.
Just that mental side of it definitely was something that needed to
100%
be addressed, and hopefully their spirits have been lifted now. Getting a win under their belt, another one on the road would be huge, especially, I mean, this stretch they have to close out the season is no cupcake, that's for sure. They got SLU again, but at home this time.
Yep. They have George Mason. As of this recording, it will already have happened. But Duquesne next hosting. Then they get to host SLU, as you mentioned, now the 18th ranked team in the country. Then they go on the road to George Washington, at Richmond, and then they close the year at home against VCU again. So tough games ahead, and just all that matters, right? No one cares what you did in October at this point. No one cares what you did in November at this point. No one cares what you did in January at this point. And really, it doesn't matter what you did in early February. Put the losing streak behind you, stack up some wins, start playing your best ball again in time for the conference tournament. All that matters, because you have to win the A-10 if you want to play in March Madness. So,
and for a lot of these guys, it's going to be their last time out.
100%.
Javon Bennett.
Yeah.
Keontae Jones. He's not going to play again. He's maxed out his eligibility. I don't know about Connor. Connor's probably toward the end, isn't he?
I want to say Connor's a junior. I think he's got one more.
Yeah, I think Deshane is a junior.
Deshane's a junior.
Durkak is a junior, I believe.
I think Durkak might be a sophomore. I'm sorry. Okay, so Jacob Connor is a senior, so this is it for him as well. Bennett, senior. Deshane, junior. Jayon, redshirt, sophomore. Durkak, senior. That's who I was thinking of. As you mentioned, Keontae. Bryce Hurd's a sophomore. Connor, senior, as we mentioned. Latong, sophomore. And
this team's going to look really different, I have a feeling.
Who are we wondering about?
Connor and Durkak.
Oh, Connor and Durkak, yeah. Both seniors. So, yeah, very different. And it already looked different at the beginning of the season with all these transfers. So, the most in, Dayton history, obviously, with, the new, transfer portal that is right now. But still, tough stretch coming up for the Flyers. But, if they can kind of build off this one, and it'll be a good win against George Mason, definitely help on already would have happened on Wednesday. So, we'll have results of that for you next week. Moving on to the Wright State Raiders in the Horizon League, still in first place in the conference standings. They've had a couple losses recently, but they haven't let them stacked up in any way. They have responded every single time with a win. I want to go out on a limb and say they haven't lost consecutive games yet this year, but it could be
I don't
wrong.
think so. I think it's been back in, it might have been early in the season. I think they might have lost back-to-back real early in the year.
They did, yep. At Cal. Tough, and then home against Toledo. But since then, sorry, they lost at Butler and then at Youngstown State.
But those were both before the new year.
Yes,
both of those were early in the year,
and then at Marshall, and then home against Miami. But then after that, they went on the win streak. So, it's happened a couple times.
In conference.
In conference play, yes.
They've not lost consecutive conference games.
I was ready to just super hype them up there on that. And then I was like, another one.
You guys at home have to know we are tracking so many teams all at once. So sometimes we just get a little bit crossed up with things.
Just a bit. But anyway, so big win for Wright State, coming back, bouncing back after the Detroit Mercy loss at home. They go on the road and they, take care of Cleveland State 102-109. How about the coming out party for the freshman, Alex Bruscotter? He entered this game against the Titans with just 39 total points over 8 games. And then now he literally had 25 points, leading 4 Wright State Raiders in double figures, shooting 6 of 8 from the floor. 3 3-pointers, and was 10 of 14 from the free throw line. Yep. So always nice when you can see just a young guy off the bench basically come in and just kind of take over a game. So
I think this is probably the game they were looking for, something that was emphasized on, was it Thursday when they lost to Detroit Mercy last week?
Yes.
Full 40 minutes, full 40 minutes, full 40 minutes. They haven't put it together for a full 40 minutes. So I would have to guess that this game was one that they finally feel like they put together for a full 40 minutes. 51 points in each half. And I'm not talking average. They actually did score 51 points in both halves.
That's good.
So
I'm looking up here because I'm curious before we move on, but let's see what AI tells us here. That's right. That's what I thought. So the last time Wright State was the number 1 seed in the Horizon League tournament was 2020 when they went on to that was the COVID year. 2021-22 was the year that they won their first 4 game, the first ever NCAA tournament game. So they were pretty solid in those couple of stretches. But yeah, that was the last time. So COVID, they were the number 1 seed. So eyeing that again, very much still in play, leading the conference right now at 12-4 overall. Just behind them is Oakland at 10-6. So there is, some significant, pad there if they can continue to win. But 17-10 overall, 9-4 at home.
That's really big because it was only a 1 game
it was
difference
very narrow.
going into Sunday's game.
Absolutely.
It was 11-4 and 10-5 were Wright State and Oakland. So the fact that Oakland lost and Wright State won,
absolutely
huge,
helps them. Yeah, Oakland's actually on a 3-game losing streak, and Robert Morris is now kind of on the come up on a 4-game win streak.
Who Wright State has still left on their schedule.
Yep, and would like to probably seek revenge against them, I believe, because they lost to them on the road.
Yep, they have 2 more home games scheduled left this season. Tomorrow against IU Indy, and this weekend against Robert Morris, I believe, right?
Yep, yeah, that's correct.
And I say scheduled because if they end up being the top seed, they will host a conference tournament game.
100%.
So that's good.
Yeah, no, big, and to see what Clint Sargent's doing in year 2 with this program, it's been exciting to watch. So, of course, keep an eye on Flyers and Raiders, and we cannot forget before we go to break the Miami Redhawks. Your only
we have a drum roll?
undefeated. That's a good question.
You need to have these sound effects loaded
There's,
up for Miami.
I will say there are 5 pages of these. So I gotta go through them. No, there's no drum roll.
All right, give me something though.
Okay, I'll give you the air horn. There we go.
Miami Redhawks, 25-0.
25-0.
Oh, they took down Ohio in front of a national audience on Friday night on ESPN.
Uno.
Blank. No 2, no U, no plus on ESPN on Friday night. Beat them pretty handily too in front of a sold-out crowd, national audience. So they are now 25-0 overall, 12-0 in conference play.
Would have loved to have been at that one.
What's that?
Would have loved to have been at that game. The energy from the broadcast at Millette and just seeing videos, it sounded deafening in there.
Yep.
So it's
number 22
it's super cool.
in this week's poll. They moved up a spot.
There's those. Come on, Rothstein. Man.
But kind of the story that's hit the national waves now, which oddly enough became a story at that game that we were at, that game that we were able to go to when the swim team showed up for the first time and stripped down to their Speedos. If you guys remember that and you saw our videos of it, those were our videos of it the first time that happened. That kind of went viral, and now it's become a national sensation.
Oh, yeah.
Travis Steele is saying if they end up going into March Madness undefeated, he will. Where was he going to go?
Selection Sunday?
He was going to do their Selection Sunday show in a Speedo, which I don't know if it's anything anybody wants to see, but...
Maybe like a quick photo op and then back into like the quarter zip and pants for because assuming there will be a camera on them for watching that play.
Yeah, there will be a camera from ESPN on them. There will be, or CBS. There will be, if
heck, we could be there.
I was gonna say there will be our camera on them. So
yeah, it's just been such a fun story. They're just having fun too, and you can tell, it doesn't feel like it's pressure. Like however he is
about that. No, he talked about that in the post game after Friday's game that he had a friend come and watch one of their games, and he was like, the friend was like, I thought you guys were gonna be tight. And I can't believe how loose you guys are playing, even with all of this going on. Like they are not.
He's got a
feeling any
brainwashed
type
or something.
Of pressure.
It's great. Yeah, it's been fun to watch, and like we mentioned, they're gonna go for 26-0. It would be the most wins in program history. They have now matched it at 25. At 25-0 now from last season. and what a season that was, and now this one even seems just unfathomable. So,
and the 25 wins last year was including the postseason. So the fact that they're already at
Right.
25 with
and a handful of games left.
presumably 10 or so games left.
Yeah, it's great to see. So yeah, as of this recording, another Tuesday game. They would have played at UMass already. So hopefully next time we're talking to you here next week, they are 26-0. So we are going to take a little break here.
Do they play this weekend?
They stand by.
Because if they do, hopefully when we talk to you next week, they're 27-0.
That's true, because if they do play this weekend, and we just said before, it feels like, no, not the Hurricanes. Get out of here. No one cares about them. Okay. Oh, they do. They play on Friday against Bowling Green.
So there you go. Hopefully by the time we...
And then they play Tuesday, the 24th. I told you, it feels like they play every other day.
So hopefully by the time we're talking to you next week, they're 28-0.
Unbelievable. All right, that does it for basketball coverage here. We'll have a little bit of time when we come back. A couple things to mention. A local product still adding more accolades to his overfilling trophy case. And then, of course, baseball right around the corner, spring training underway. What's going on with the Reds in Arizona? All that and more coming up right here on 2 Sports Overtime.
Welcome back to 2 Sports Overtime. We're going to transition to a couple extra topics that we want to hit before we head out here today, starting with Joey. I'll just let you take the floor on this one.
Yeah, we've been kind of talking about him, ever since Indiana won the national championship, and that is Piqua grad Bryant Haynes, Hoosiers defensive coordinator, of course, helped lead that unbelievable defense to the national championship, winning the college football playoff national title, and his exciting 2025 into 2026 does not stop there. He was now the proud recipient of the Broyles Award, which goes, of course, to the nation's top assistant coach in college football. So just super pumped for him. What a great story to see, a local standout from, the historic program that is Piqua, played under Bill Neese, who's still coaching to this day. Went on to have a great career at Ball State, and now is one of the best coaches considered in college football as an assistant.
He's going to be a head coach someday.
100%.
Can't wait to see where that ends up being.
They asked him about that. It was Holly Rowe at this award ceremony, which was last Thursday in Arkansas, and he just, of course, gave a really good answer of just saying, I am where my feet are. We love Bloomington. He's his wife. He's got a little baby daughter, born very recently. I don't even know if she's quite one yet. Seen some videos of her and the family. So just super cool for him. Super humble guy. Head to our social media. You'll see his reaction to winning the award, and talking about his peers and who he was a finalist with. The Miami defensive coordinator, who of course they played in the national championship. Matt Patricia, Ohio State. Georgia's defensive coordinator, and the Texas Tech defensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
So obviously elite company. Yep, Shawwood. And just saying for him to be selected, what an honor, and what a year it was. Heisman winner and Fernando Mendoza, Rose Bowl, national championship, and now this. So congratulations to him. Super cool. And I'll be getting a chance to talk to him here this week. So
what?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's been a busy guy.
You guys just found that out at the same time I did.
Well, there you go. Well, now you know, too.
That's awesome.
We've been kind of playing phone tag back and forth ever since the national championship. And obviously, the guy's been busy.
Since the Rose Bowl, right?
We've been, and of course, he's,
super busy.
Super busy. Had no issue that he had other important things to do. The guy was winning a national championship. So hopefully he's able to, get home and relax a little bit, and I can bug him for a little bit and get his reaction. But yeah, obviously, Piqua rallying around this guy has been super fun to watch. So we're going to hear from him soon, and that'll be all over 2 Sports and WDTN. And if we have time, we can absolutely share some of his reaction with you here. And then quickly before we end, can't forget about what time of the year it is. That snow is melting, and it might not be baseball season weather quite. I don't know. Today's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
This week's been pretty nice.
This week's
But
next couple days are gonna be pretty
I know.
nice.
Out in Arizona, though, it begins in Goodyear. Red Spring training officially underway. They just had their first full squad workout, and that first game against the in-state rival Cleveland Guardians coming up this Saturday, February 21st. So, getting, our first look at this, 2026 squad with the addition of Eugenio Suarez and
Nate Lowe, which happened over the weekend.
That's right.
Called his name out quite a few times when I worked in Texas.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, good bat. Another good, solid veteran bat to the mix.
World Series champion, Gold Glove first baseman.
100%. And a lot of good. They bolstered the bullpen, with some more relievers. Emilio Pagan, their closer, is back as well. Ellie looks to be really healthy. I saw some videos from social media from our friends at the Cincinnati stations that are over there in Arizona talking about just the muscle mass that it seemingly he continues to put on more and more each year. So Chase Burns and Rhett Lauder, former Dragons, looking like they're already
so excited to see them in action.
Burning it in there.
Hopefully for a full season.
Yes, staying healthy will be a big thing. So yeah, of course, any big Red Spring training updates we will have for you.
We still have yet to learn what the top prospect is going to be in Dayton this year.
We do, and that'll be coming up soon too. And
yeah.
Before we know it, we'll be talking Dragons. The Dragons have a new manager, Julio Murillo, and we're excited to get a chance to talk to him and like Kayler mentioned, see who that new guy, new top prospect is. We've had some good ones. We've been pretty spoiled in Dayton the last couple of years. So,
and before we go, too, shout out to Christina Hart.
Yes,
she won the National Coach of the Year, the Altar Girls Basketball Coach of 32 years. If you didn't catch the story when it aired earlier this week, you can actually find it on this app, WDTN Plus, or on our website, WDTN.com. Just a great person,
Fantastic.
Great story. What an honor for her to be recognized on the national stage is just remarkable because
no one deserves it more too.
Got to be hundreds of thousands of coaches, and so for her to stand above all of them,
I want to quickly show them because this is. Look for that. Heart of a Champion. Kayler did a great job on telling Christina Hart's journey at Altar, and
Joey did a great job on making that picture.
It was a good team effort, but mostly Kayler. She did all the legwork. But yeah, great story. Well deserved. One of the best, most deserving coaches, receiving that honor. So go check out that story, and of course, all our content you can find on WDTN Plus and on our website. And we'll be back here next week, bringing you more hoops and baseball and whatever else is happening in the world of sports here in Ohio and beyond. So
about to get real busy.
It's going to get busy soon. First four not too far away.
First four, state, conference tournaments, all of it.
All coming up, and we're going to have it all here
baseball.
for you. Love it. For Kayler Smith,
I'm
Joey
sleep in March.
Yeah,
no. We sleep in May.
You sleep in May. We're stealing Rothstein's line. And, John, put the Red Hawks in the AP.
Rank the Red Hawks.
Rank the Red Hawks. We'll see you next week right here on T Sports Overtime.